everybody, welcome back, and today I have a kind of comparison slash review for you guys on 4 different drugstore liquid lipsticks. So I'm going to tell you about each one of them. At the end of my little review for each one, you will see a collage that has a picture of the wear time, or wear test, I guess, and the applicator and the swatch. So you will see it as it's freshly applied, after one meal, and then after the second meal slash end of the day, and then the wand and the swatch. So you will see that. Then, because a lot of these are very similar to my own lip color, I will go ahead and show you up close while I'm talking about each one. The 2 pictures of the wear test, why do I keep saying wear time? The wear test after each meal, so that you can kind of see up close how it wears off of the lips. Now, a quick housekeeping note, these pictures are sometimes taken in different lighting. I'm on the road, so I don't always have access to studio lights or only natural light or whatever it is. So you will see variations in color, but I feel like that's good so that you can kind of see how they look in different lighting. And also, for just an even playing field, I went ahead and applied all of these after breakfast. But at the start of my day, I wore them all for around 10 hours. The first wear test picture will be the freshly applied lip. The second will be after my lunch. And then the third will be after dinner slash end of my day, which is pretty much the same thing. Right after dinner, I wash my makeup off. That's it. I'm done for the day. And just for reference, my meals, I did keep my lunchtime meal for all of these to a kind of dry meal. So I either had like a snack type of thing or had like a sandwich, you know, where there's just bread, like nothing greasy on it or anything. And then my second meal was always a hot meal. So like something that you would eat with a fork, you know, there's going to be like wetness, greasiness, whatever, things like that. So that's all consistent. So let's get right on into these. First up, I have, well, let me just tell you the ones that I'm gonna be telling you about. I have the Flower Beauty Miracle Matte Lip. I have the Rimmel Stay Matte Liquid Lip Color. I have the Wet n Wild Mega Last Liquid Catsuit, and the new CoverGirl Melting Pout Matte. So let me just do them in the order that I tried them out. First, let's talk about the Flower Beauty one. I do have one more color of this Flower Beauty one, but I really didn't like the shade, so I didn't even bother to do like a wear test on it. I figure one is enough since I only had one of all the others. I have mine in Bare Honey. It's a nice nude color. And here is the wand. It's kind of one of those flattened doe foot paddle applicators. I did really like the wand on this. I feel like I got a nice precise line around my lips, and I felt like this was probably the best applicator. I need to look at the Rimmel one, but I liked this one the most, I think, out of all of them. This one was the least comfortable of all of them though, and for that reason alone, I would not wear it again myself, just because by the end of the day I was desperate to get it off of my mouth. But with that being said, it also had the best wear time out of all of these. So, you know, I'm going to just kind of give you the pros and cons on all of them. That way you can make your own decision on which ones you want to try. But best applicator, best wear time, least comfortable. And here's the thing also, this looks, even as I'm looking at it in the tube, it looks like just a plain matte color. But I noticed throughout the day, as I was wearing this, after lunch, it started to actually look like it had gold reflex in it, which was kind of weird. It actually reminded me a lot of the Sugar Pill Trinket liquid lipstick. So that was really weird. I didn't mind it though, and you really couldn't feel the grittiness of anything in it. Here's the thing, it also had the longest dry down time of all of them. At the 1 hour mark, it still felt slightly tacky. My lips weren't sticking together, but it had like a tack to it. And whenever I you know, kissed the back of my hand, there was transfer on it. Now, after the 1 hour mark and after I had blotted on the back of my hand, I didn't get any more transfer. So keep that in mind. You might be able to cut down that dry down / transfer time if you do go ahead and blot ahead of time. Maybe that would work better. This, I just felt like really made my lips feel like all of the life was being sucked out of them by the end of the day. And I would not recommend it if you don't like a liquid lipstick that you feel and are aware of all day long on your lips. They do have a decent color selection though. So this one, not my favorite, but if you do need something that is extremely long lasting, this would be the best. After my lunch, there was almost no visible wear off except right on the inside. And then after dinner, even only a little bit here. All the rest of it was still intact. So it was pretty good in some ways. Next up, we have the Rimmel Stay Matte Liquid Lip Color. I have mine in Blush number 110. Oh, you know what? I forgot to mention the Flower Beauty one. It does have kind of a sugar cookie scent to it, so if you are sensitive to smells, there's that. While I'm thinking of that one, this one, oh my gosh, I think I got that on my nose. This one, honestly, it smells kind of like sugary paint, which I don't love. Let's look at the applicator on this one. It has kind of a wedge-shaped, flattened out doe foot, so a little bit different than the flower one. I do like that I got the same with that one, a nice precise line around my lips. I didn't feel like it, you know, traveled out whenever I was trying to put it on, but I don't really see the point of a wedge, you know, might as well just have it be the other way. This one, I think, was one of my favorite shades just of the 4 that I bought. I felt like it was really flattering. This, I will say that I don't know if you will still be able to get this. I have been hearing that it is not available in some stores anymore. I just checked today at my local Walmart. They still have some out, but at my local Ulta, all of them are gone. So I don't know if they're planning on repackaging or doing away with this or whatever, but it's hit or miss on whether you'll be able to find it or not. But I'm going to go ahead and tell you about it anyway. This one was my second least favorite. The flower would be my least favorite just because of the feel of it. This one, it had a decent wear time, but that being said, it wasn't very comfortable. It was slightly more comfortable than the Flower Beauty one. It did dry down within 30 minutes. So I wish that it had a better dry down time, but once it dried down, it was completely like powder dry. So that is good, whereas the Flower Beauty one kind of still maintained a slight bit of tack throughout the day. This did not transfer at all, so that's good. After my first meal, there was a little bit of wear off just around the inner part, but after my second meal, there's nothing left. There was literally nothing left on my lips, except, you know, just around the very edges, but all of the center was just completely gone. So this is probably not a liquid lipstick that you would want to wear if you're actually going to be going out and having a meal or anything like that, because you will definitely have to touch up. I also feel like this one was a little bit less opaque and it was a little bit more streaky, but if you finesse it a little bit, you could get it to go on pretty good. The wear time on this though, the fact that it came off after my second meal completely, I wouldn't recommend it for that. And because it's not the most comfortable, it did feel pretty drying on my lips. My lips are pretty parched by the end of the day. I was not happy about the feel of it, but it is a very light texture, whereas I feel like the flower one was a little bit more of a heavy feel. This felt light, but it also felt like it was shrinking up my lips, so I did not love that. Would not recommend this one. Next up is the Mega Last Liquid Catsuit from Wet n Wild. This one also has kind of a faint chemical-y smell to it, but it's nothing too overpowering. The applicator on this one is kind of strange. It is a doe foot, but then it has this little like kind of divot in the center. Here's the thing about this one. I bought all of these kind of in more like nudie shades, and then this one, I could not figure out a nude that I would really like, so I bought it in a shade that in my declutter I realized I just wanted to get away from. So I got it in Rebel Rose. I don't love the shade of this, but I think I will pick up a different one if I can find the right kind of nude, because this was actually my favorite out of the four. And I think it might actually even be the cheapest out of all of them. The wear time on this, standard, I feel like. It did tend to wear off a little bit oddly, I guess. You'll see in the pictures though that it kind of wears off here and then, you know, around the inner rim. And then that was after the first meal. After the second meal, it's pretty much that exact pattern, but just a little bit more pronounced. So it doesn't exactly wear off super gracefully, I feel like, but it felt so comfortable on. It was one of those where I just could not even tell that I had anything on. And for me, in a liquid lipstick, the comfort and the non-transfer factor is the most important things for me. I don't care if it wears off a little wonky and I have to, you know, reapply a little bit or whatever, but I need to not feel like my lips are just gonna fall off and die at the end of the day. So this one I would recommend. I think it is the best out of all of them, but I do still want to talk about the CoverGirl one because it is the newest. And I also think that this one has quite a nice shade range. Just picturing it in my head, I looked at it this morning at Walmart whenever I was grocery shopping, and there was like several shades. And then last but not quite least is the CoverGirl Melting Pout Matte. I have mine in Current Nude. This one, oh my gosh, it smells, it actually kind of smells like a Starburst wrapper. You know, there's like a hint of some fruitiness, but there's also like some waxy paperiness under there. You know what I mean? I think you know what I'm talking about. But here, this one is, it just has a standard doe foot applicator. This little guy, oh my gosh. Here's my main issue with this product. I have to dip into this anywhere from 5 to 8 times in order to cover my entire lips. And I mean, it's not like they're gigantic or anything, you know, so I don't know why either, because it actually holds a decent amount of product on there, but the product doesn't really seem to go very far. It is kind of like a more almost whipped texture of the product, so maybe that's why, but it takes so long to get this thing on your lips and built up. And this one, at least the color that I got, was a little bit more patchy, and so I did have to go back in and kind of fill in spots to even everything out. I also did not feel like I got a nice sharp line around my lips with this one, so I wish that it had a different applicator for that as well. The shade range I feel like is pretty standard for this one. Here's the thing about it. It's not the least comfortable, but it's not the most comfortable. I would say that in terms of comfort, the the Liquid Catsuit is the most comfortable. The CoverGirl is the second most comfortable, but it's kind of like a far second because I could feel it on my lips. I was aware of it, and also whenever I would kind of lick my lips in the center, you could feel kind of like a grittiness happening. So it almost felt like fine sandpaper on my lips, even though it did dry down really quickly to a complete powder matte. So it was a little bit weird, and it also wore off kind of strangely. Pretty much all of the outer parts were wearing off, and then on the inner rim. And then after my second meal, almost all of like this was gone. And so there was just a little bit in the center here and a little bit down here left. So to recap, longest and best wear time, least comfortable formula is the Flower Beauty one. The Rimmel one had probably the worst wear time / wearing off factor, and also not as comfortable. The Wet n Wild Liquid Catsuit, the best one, the one that I would recommend to you, and it was the most comfortable. Then the CoverGirl wore off kind of weird, kind of flaked around the edges, like crumbled up a little bit, and it takes so much effort to get it on your lips. It's ridiculous. Now, I will go ahead and show you though what I'm wearing on my lips today. I just picked it up this morning, so I can't really tell you a whole lot about it. If you want a review, I can do that. But this is the Physicians Formula, the Healthy Lip Velvet Finish, and I got mine in All Natural Nude. It has a little bit of tack, but not anything where your lips are sticking together. But I just really like the color of it. It actually reminds me of how MAC's Velvet Teddy looks on me, maybe a hair lighter, but in liquid lipstick format. So I like that so far. We shall see how it goes, but I hope that you guys liked this review. Hope that you got some good information out of it, and I hope that it helped you figure out which one you would want to buy. I will catch you guys next time. Bye.